How are you?
I'm getting by, thanks, Lorraine.
You're okay, you're okay? Because
yeah.
the funeral was just this week, wasn't it?
It was on Monday, yeah.
I mean, you knew that you were going to lose him because it's such a cruel, cruel, cruel disease. You knew you were going it was going to happen, but it was very sudden, wasn't it? It was you thought you had more time.
We did. We were on holiday until Friday and then unfortunately passed away on the Saturday. But being honest, I thought we would have had another 6 to 12 months, really. So it was quite unexpected at that time.
Very, very difficult for you. You've got 2 children. How do you explain to them what was happening to their dad?
We just took it day by day,
Right.
and for them, I think he's been poorly for a few years, and the children are quite young; they're only 7 and 9. So I think it's normality for them, and they were quite resilient. So it was just taking each day as it comes.
I think when you explain to children, you know, somehow they are. You said it there. They are resilient. You know, they can, and sometimes they absorb the information, but then they live very much in the now, don't they?
Yeah.
The kids, they really do. But looking after them must have kept you going, I guess.
It does, because children don't stop for anything, do
No,
they?
They
do, and that's part of what keeps you going as well. And I think that's what kept Paul going. He could still, and even though his body was giving up, he could still enjoy the children and watch the children growing up. And yeah, I think that played an important part really for him.
What's so cruel is that you had gone through cancer. In fact, it's a miracle you're here. The doctors have said, you know, they didn't give you much chance, did they?
30% chance of a cure and living 5 years is what I was told.
And while you were getting better, and it was like, you know, you've had all that, going through all that, just getting back to normal, and then of course he's diagnosed with motor neuron.
Yeah.
I mean, did you not just think, why us? Why is this happening to our family?
To be honest, I didn't think that. I mean, it's got to happen to somebody. It's got to happen to somebody, and it's just unfortunate that we got struck twice, I think. And you can't dwell on it, you can't think like that. You've just got to get on with it and make the most of it, which is what we did.
Absolutely is what you did, of course it is. But it's that kind of... Did you find yourself just taking a day at a time, really?
Yes.
It was the only way that you could do it?
Yeah, I couldn't think too far ahead, and Paul couldn't think ahead. It was just literally day by day. You know, and I think that's a coping mechanism, and that's how you get by.
When you were going through the cancer, you decided not to tell the children that was happening. Have you spoken to them since about what you went through? Because they obviously must have seen you having treatment and everything.
They did, but they were only 1 and 3, so they were
Too
very
small.
young.
Yeah.
They do remember me having no hair, but that's about it, and they didn't comprehend the seriousness of it. So for them, it wasn't a big issue when I was ill.
And how are you now? Because you look remarkably well for everything that you've gone through.
Yeah. Thanks to makeup, Lorraine, I think, this morning. But,
yes, it does a good job, doesn't it?
I'm okay.
You're all right.
It's a long road ahead, I know that. But
and if the prognosis is fine just now, it's all right, but there's always that thing in the back of your mind that it might return, it might come back. But you've made the decision, if it does, you won't have treatment?
Not if it was just palliative treatment.
Right.
The chemo made me so poorly that if they could only offer me palliative care, then I would just want to have a quality of life for as long as possible, and enjoy it without spending the rest of my life being poorly just for the sake of maybe another few weeks or months. Yeah. So it is a decision I made early on.
And now that it is just you looking after I know you've got friends and family and support, but it's just you looking after the children, it does make it... I can understand, is what I'm saying. I can understand that decision. As I said, the funeral was only on Monday. Because it happened so suddenly, he didn't have time to tell you what he wanted at the funeral. That must have been really difficult, because you don't know whether you're doing the right thing. No,
he didn't want to address it. Like I say, Paul lived for today. He didn't want to think too far ahead, and I think we both knew in our minds that, you know, he was terminally ill. And as much as you know that is going to happen, you still never think it does. You never think it does. And I think one of his ways of coping was to not deal with that and to not talk about end of life or funeral arrangements or anything like that. So yeah, it was tough.
It must have been so difficult for you and for the kids. How were they? Were they all right?
They're fine. They went back to school yesterday, trying to get a bit of normality back. Very clingy, very clingy at the moment. Just wanting to be with me, my attention, which is understandable.
Completely understandable. And I guess after all of this that all of your family's going through, you just want to get some normality back into your life, don't you?
Yeah, I think existed is probably the word I would use for the last 5 years. And don't get me wrong, Lorraine, we've had some absolutely amazing times. We've had some family holidays. We've made some really good memories. And I appreciate some people don't get that time. And we've had that, and we're blessed to have that. But I can honestly say we've existed, and I want to start living again now.
Yeah,
and
especially
I know it's going to take time.
Especially for them, because, you know, but as you said, you've got some really good memories.